Hello, I'm Dr. Lauren, and this is Storytime Sunday. We're going to try it on the desktop today and see if YouTube will let me be seen, because for the last 3 Sundays I've had to use my phone, so we'll see what happens here. And I'll wait to see if anybody comes on before I continue to sit here and talk to myself. Hello, hi. Just trying to see if this desktop version of going live is able to be seen. I don't think so. So I'm probably going to have to use my phone again because, hello. Hi there. Hi, welcome in. Hello, everybody. Well, finally, I've been trying to get on the desktop live for the past 3 Sundays, and I've had to use my phone and couldn't come on here. So I'm glad to see you, that you can see me on the desktop version here. I have been quite frustrated with YouTube for the past week. A lot of my things aren't loading or being seen, so it's been challenging. So good to see everybody. Hello, Shelly. Thank you for Shelly for reaching out to me when I didn't come on last Sunday. I took a rest and just slept on the couch and passed the time and forgot to get on. So thank y'all for being with me today on Storytime Sunday. It's one of my favorite times of the week to be able to come on and talk with you all. I do feel that I called this my candid and unfiltered version, and in honor of a conversation that I had with a friend from Berea, Kentucky, Shelly. I remember when we were having lunch together when I came up and visited you, and you said, be myself and not try to be something different. And what's happened to me over last Sunday when I was able to release and to cry, if anybody saw that, yes, I cried. I was not trying to pull a moment like other YouTubers do, but it was something that just happened to me. And I realized that I need to be more raw. I need to be more unfiltered, and I need to let you all into the things that stress me out, the things that are challenges, but also my wins. And when I got to tell you all about my wins last Sunday, it was not a win, I guess, at the moment, but it turned out to be a win. And I'm starting to realize that you all are just as much my family as my actual biological family. I don't feel that when I was growing up, it was allowed to talk about the things that are in your mind. I think that we are trained to kind of keep those things in and not talk about it. But I absolutely love this channel for being able to talk about the things that are real, the things that are helping animals, the things that I'm doing. Initially made this channel to talk about the animals, but it morphed into something more than I could have imagined, with connecting with a group of people from around the world that have the same likes and the same concerns and the same issues that I think a lot of us do. So I am thankful for having this platform to be able to talk. And sometimes it's hard to talk about the things that are deep inside that I feel like I shouldn't talk about. And I feel like I shame myself for, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said this. And I think that, Teresa, thank you. I think that you all showed me that it's okay to have emotion. It's okay to talk about the things that are on here. And I think keeping them inside only lets the animals feel that I have that stress. And I do believe the animals feel that I have that stress, because when I'm with them, I can tell that they're different when they don't feel like I'm being genuine. A mentor of mine in Colorado, Mancos, Colorado, Dr. J, he recently helped me when I was sitting in the truck about to go in to help a dog that couldn't lift his head. And I was feeling overwhelmed by results being slow for dogs to be able to heal. And the owners getting frustrated at the time it takes for the animals to heal. Now, I've always said in the human practice, I'm not Jesus Christ, because if I was, it would be one touch and you would be healed. Now, I'm a vessel for the Lord to work through, and my hands are tools to be able to do that. So I can put my hands on the animals, but I'm not the one really doing the work. And I hope that y'all know this. And here's my candor and my rawness, or however you want to say it today. These hands are just a pass through of what the healing inside of us is, that we're able to heal, and we're able to heal, and Jesus died for our ability to heal. Now, if I say the word Jesus Christ and that offends anybody, please hop off now. I know that a lot of people recently have been saying Jesus Christ, and their YouTubes have been having issues. With that being said, I'm a child of God. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And I was taught about the Lord from my grandmother, Geneva Baker, from Princeton, Kentucky. She took me to church when I was 6. And I've loved the Lord ever since. I was baptized on January 10th, 2016, alongside my husband. I have really come a long way since being baptized. And I've had a lot of things work against me since I've been made it known whose team I'm on. My words to Tim after being baptized were, "Now I'm good, right?" He said, "No, my dear, now you have a bullseye on your back." So with that being said, that's what I wanted you to know, candid, raw, unfiltered, that everything that I do, that these hands are tools, that is an extension of the Lord, works through my hands. And that when I apply my hands onto a human or an animal, I pause and I count to 3 and I say, "Lord, help them." I do not say, "Let's go, Lauren's going to heal them," or "Dr. Baker's going to heal them, Dr. Lauren's going to heal them," whatever you want to call me. I need his help every day. So back to the story. My mentor, Dr. J, has always said to call him, but it's quite intimidating to call a mentor who's been adjusting animals for 50 years. And you sit and you think to yourself, is it a valid question? Is it a good enough question to call him? Is the question strong enough or in dire need enough to text this man? And I was sitting in the truck. I was early to the job. And it's this little dog named Ace. He's a standard poodle. No, he's a miniature poodle. And he has lost the ability to lift his head. They've done all the tests. They couldn't find anything wrong with his x-rays. Now, the veterinarian has x-rayed this little dog's middle and lower back, but I know in my heart that the problem comes from the neck. Now, you see, I've told you this before, but this is the brain, and the cord is like the Wi-Fi, modem, Wi-Fi. The Lord made an incredible invention when he made our brain encased in very hard bone and having our spine. Well, most problems come from the neck. And if you know me, you know by now that that's what I've said. That if you have a lower back problem, you most likely have a neck problem. Now, this is in my professional opinion with 20 years experience of being a chiropractor, that I took 100 patients with lower back pain and only adjusted their neck. They had a 75 to 90% improvement with just working on their neck. Now, I apply the same thing to dogs. So here's little Ace with his ability to not lift his head up, and he keeps slipping. And I'm sitting in the down the street from their house a little bit early, and I had Molly, who was lost the use of her hind legs. I had another Frenchie who lost the use of the hind legs. I had a horse that couldn't pick up his hind legs. I had another dog that was having issues with his front shoulder. With all of the weight of all of the dogs and the horses losing their hind end flow and their nerve flow, I'm sitting in the truck feeling the weight of the world and the weight of the pressure of being able to show up and deliver a great adjustment. So I decided that this was a time to call my mentor, but I was too nervous to call him, so I text him. So as I sit in the truck, this is what I said to my mentor. Now, this is candid and raw because I normally wouldn't share something this personal, but I'm going to share something this personal. So, here's what I said to my mentor. Going back a little ways, it's a bit of a conversation, but you have to hear it. I said, this was when I was helping Molly. So you guys heard that Molly's walking. So this is what happened. Hey, Dr. J, I need your wisdom to help a dog. She's a 5-year-old dachshund that presents with hind end paralysis of the sciatic nerve. Her injury was on June 6th. The owners have her given gabapentin, carprofen, and prednisone. She's now on a standard processed vitamin called neurotropin and turmeric. She has some control over her bowel and bladders, which is the nerve flow. If they lose bowel and bladder, it's worse. And she holds it all night long. She's being assisted to walk with a sling, as you'll see in the video. I did a thermal imaging, and she had 95.6 degree temperature, which is normal, with a local inflammation over the T8 vertebra. Today, she has a more global inflammation globally. It was larger, measuring 92.1, and she's able to wag her tail, and with back leg extension, she can contract her thigh and pull her leg forward. She has a loss of sensory in the pads of her feet. I've adjusted her 3 times over the 3 weeks. The veterinarian wants them to pay $10,000 for a laminectomy surgery, which removes the back of the spine. I have gotten them to agree to 3 more weeks of adjustments. They said they would like to euthanize and not do the surgery after the 3 weeks if no improvement. Any words of wisdom, sir? Thank you. He says, can you bicycle her hips? Yes, I said. He says, is there any motion in the SI joints in the hind end? I said, yes. I said, but she screams in pain when I touch the T8 vertebra and it feels like it has dropped forward. He said she's got quite a bit of energy, which bids well for recovery. I said, great. He said I would pack it in ice for about 10 minutes and then do the Heimlich maneuver over that segment of T8. I said, okay. The owners are very jumpy, and if I make her scream or cry at all, they told me to stop. It's very unnerving. How do you go about communicating to allow this to happen? He said, ice her down afterwards. I said, okay. He said, have them leave the room. Tell them you appreciate their concern, but it's not helping as far as the treatment. It would be like resetting a dislocated shoulder. I said, I've never done this maneuver before on a dog. Maybe I need to retake your course. He said, clasp your fingers together directly under her body, under the direction of the 8th vertebra. Begin to lift and take all the slack out of the body, and then keep going, even if she yelps. Then give a very brisk thrust directly to the ceiling. Remember, a chiropractic adjustment is 1,000 miles an hour to only move 1 inch. Is there another dog in the house? How did this happen? He said. So he goes in to ask about how it happened, and I'm not going to go into that because it's very personal and traumatic for the... But I said, and I may cry. I said, lately I've been feeling so much pressure, but getting so many new dogs. Yesterday I thought about getting in my truck and just driving away. I said, I'm sorry that I'm just emotionally dumping on you, sir. He said, laugh out loud, it's like getting knocked over by a horse. It just goes with the territory. I said, I understand. I will do better and I will keep going. And he says, ask yourself the question, how high is high enough? I said, I get that. I can only do what I can do. He said, it's okay to stay on the plateau for 5 to 7 years without necessarily having to grow your business any further than you need to. There's a sweet spot in practice, and once you determine that, you stay there. You do not change anything. Make sure it includes time for rest, time for self-care, time for your husband, time in general, and prayer. I said, thank you for that. My husband and I just spoke about this yesterday. I did put all of the dog adjustments on half a day a week, and I put all the horses and other animals on 2 days a week. He said, don't ever hesitate to give me a shout, XO. I said, thank you, and I appreciate your wisdom and your words always. So, behind every animal chiropractor is a mentor that helped you along the way. I have mentors that I reach out to, but in my confessional, I hesitate to reach out to them unless it's valuable enough or it's a worthy enough question. But when he said that I could give him a shout anytime, this is what happened. I was at work last week, and it was Monday, and Jessica started frantically messaging me. She started asking me, could I see a dog? It's an emergency, and that the people are quite desperate. There's a Frenchie, and the Frenchie dog is 3 years old, and he has hind end paralysis. His back legs stopped working all of a sudden. And it doesn't usually happen all of a sudden. It usually happens with a jump or some kind of trauma, like something fell on the dog or something landed on its middle back. But there was these frantic messages where it's like, please respond, please respond. We need to know if she can bring the dog. And I might have the days mixed up, but actually I do have the days mixed up. It was not last Monday. It was the Thursday before. I don't know. The days run together, you know? So there's this Frenchie dog, and he's 3 years old, and he's unneutered, and he's the patriarch of the dogs that they have. And I told them that they could come and get adjusted at 7:00 after I finished with human patients that evening. There was 8 people that showed up with this dog. There was a woman, another woman, there was 3 men, and there were 2 kids. And there was this whole family surrounding this dog. And they were like, please help him. Please help him. We don't know what's wrong with him, but we're so thankful that you'll even try. And because I had helped Molly, I felt confident. I felt certain that, if I get my hands on him and start moving him, I can put motion into the joint. I could find the subluxation or the dislocation and I can reduce it. So I started palpating all over his little body, and he's just looking up at me, big eyes and cute little face. And I could hear him say, I don't know what's wrong with me, but my legs don't work. Can you help me out? I guess that's what I imagine he's saying. So I put motion into him. I get the cold laser out. We put cold laser, and we start motioning his hips and stretching his legs. And I start pumping all of his vertebrae, trying to find the area that's fixated and, pushing motion into him. And I start moving his barrel and turning his barrel and checking all his little vertebrae and doing his shoulders and his neck. And I really couldn't find anywhere that was completely stuck or fixated. I found one spot in his neck, and I did a thrust into it. I told them, just go home and, they can do some movement of his legs and put him in the bathtub and motion his legs, keep his muscles thriving and getting blood flow. The veterinarian said that he needed surgery or euthanasia. They usually always say surgery or euthanasia because little dogs like Frenchies and dachshunds or dachshunds, however you want to say it, or Pomeranians or any of the small dogs, they all have these issues. So when the little dogs have these issues, they always say it's IVDD, which stands for intervertebral disc disease, IVDD. Now, IVDD, intervertebral, between the bones, there's a disc like a jelly donut, and the little jelly in between the bones, it can get squished out into the cord, and it can cause compression. Now, when that jelly donut material comes into your cord, like when we have disc herniations in our neck and back, so I, see those, when I hear the diagnosis IVDD, then I think, where is the compression on the cord? So I'm trying to find it. So here's this little dog, I'm trying to find the compression and find a segment that's out of place. And I couldn't really find a place that was fixated. And I kept feeling like, okay, well, I put motion into the whole dog and that's all we can do. And so once I, sorry, y'all couldn't hear me. I forgot the microphone was over there. So once I got the motion put into the dog and got him adjusted, I told them I wanted to see them in 5 days on a Monday night. So the guy texted me, he bought a cold laser, which I didn't expect him to do that. He bought some vitamins. He got a new dog food. I mean, this guy was doing everything for this little dog. And I told him to show up Monday night. And when they showed up Monday night, the dog was in diapers. He was wrapped in a towel. And when he opened the towel, the dog had lost about 30% of his total body size. In my heart and in my gut, I knew that there was something else wrong. So that's not normal to see them lose their body size. His muscles and his front legs were holding him up. He was seated like with his little legs forward, and he had both his arms spread out. And he was like that the first day I saw them. They said he can't put his head down. He can't put his head down. He can't sleep. He literally sleeps sitting up with his legs braced out. And when they told me that before they left, I did a neck traction, and the little dog, he sighed. And I thought, well, that got a good release, and he'll be able to lay down. And before they left, I said, let me check and see if he can drink water from a bowl in front of his face. So he was able to put his head down and drink water out of the bowl, and we were all so happy. So the guy said that he was able to lay down, but he thinks it's sheer exhaustion that he just flops over. And he was drinking water, he was eating, but he had diarrhea. And he said that the dog in his gut, he feels like something's wrong. And the owner, he's Christian, he said, I feel like I'm under attack. He said, on Friday after we saw you, so I saw him on Thursday. So Friday after we saw you, I got into a major car accident. The Saturday after that, the next day, my house was broken into and they stole everything. And then this with my dog. He said, it's just so horrible. All the things are just hitting me. It's like spiritual attack. And he starts to sob. And he's crying, crying, and crying. And I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, you're a warrior for the Most High. And you're a man. Which is more important, that you know that you're a warrior and you've got to stay strong. You've got to stay strong. This is just an attack. And in Jesus' name, I rebuke that attack. And we're going to do everything we can to be righteous by their little dog. We're going to be righteous and we're going to do the right thing. So I told him to go to the veterinarian. I said, we need blood work done. And I called Dr. J, my mentor. Now, I told y'all that Dr. J said that I gotta, that I could call whenever I wanted to. So I gave him a call and he said, are you okay? He messaged me back later. I think it was 11 o'clock at night. He didn't answer. He said, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. I just wanted some help about a dog. But I knew I had done the right thing. Like, go back to the vet. Let's get blood work done. Let's figure it out. So later on that next day, this would have been Tuesday, that evening, the message said, thank you for everything that you've done for me, my dog, and my family. We found out that he has one kidney functioning and he has kidney failure. And his body is 2 or 3 days away from having a massive stroke. And we've decided to euthanize. So that little Frenchie has gone to heaven. And between the two, Molly, who's recovered and walking, and this one who didn't, both of them, I know that I did everything that I could. And that's what matters. That's what matters. That I know with all of my heart that I did everything that I could to help both of them. I always tell the client that it's a 50-50. I say, I don't know. We don't know if what's going to happen. So that's what happened with the story of this past week. And then something amazing happened the next day. Something amazing. Let me turn it into something amazing, right? Because no, I'm trying not to be so somber, but I want to also be real and candid about this. Jessica and I were working together on Friday, and we saw three horses. And after we saw three horses, we got a phone call while we were with the horses. There was a phone call from this lady, Regina. Regina left a message saying she had a dachshund and the dachshund has lost use of the hind end and she needed my help. And I called her back and I said, "Hey, Regina, tell me what's going on, girl." And I don't know her, but she talks real, like, one of those people that you've known forever that just talks to you like they're your best friend. And she said, "Hey, Dr. Lauren, I've done everything. I've got, all these things I'm doing for him. I'm helping him move. And I have, the vet on board and we've done the x-rays and, I've done everything. And I've got him in the swimming pool in the backyard and we're getting his little legs moving. I've got him a little thing to lift him with. I've done all these things." She said, "But you've got to adjust him. I found you online and I'm going to drive all the way over." Now she's wanting to drive 2.5 hours to bring the dog to me. And this is a God moment. She wants to bring him 2.5 hours to see me because she heard that I was the best. And I told her, "Regina, although I respect that you want to see me and I'm thankful that you do, I think the stress upon your little dog to travel 2.5 hours in the car would be too much for your little dog." And Jessica, at that moment, tapped me on the shoulder and said she had just found two chiropractors in that lady's area and saved them in a notepad on the phone. I don't even know how that happened, but that's what Jessica had. So I took the notepad, copied the text, sent it to the lady while we're on the phone, and I said, "Regina, I have sent the name of two very capable chiropractors who are within 30 minutes of you, and you can contact them and get them and see them." She said, "What else could I do?" I said, "You're doing everything right. You have to keep him in the swimming pool, keep his legs moving." She said, "He's my baby. He's my fur baby. Like he's my kid. Like you got to help tell me what I can do." I told her a few other things that I've done that I noticed for Molly that was really good. Now you remember at this time Molly's walking. So when I'm talking to the lady about this, I'm highly confident that we're going to get this lady's dog to be able to walk. She said the hind end have started to wake back up. The right leg could stand some, but the left leg was slipping. And I said, "That's a good sign that we're going to recover from this injury." So after telling her all of these things, she's not even my client, and telling her things she can do to get on the right motion, she said, "Is there anything that I can do for you?" Um, noticed something in the comments. Let me take a little side moment here. Um, Someone is saying that, "Is anyone else's screen going black when she has an advertisement?" I've heard other people talking about it in other creators' content, but wasn't know if it's happening to mine at this time. Um, so I'm not sure if anyone can tell me if that is happening. If you can see me, can you put a one in the comments? I'm not sure if it's happening to other people, but thank you for pointing that out, Connie. So this lady said, "Thank you for all the information that people have said. That people, all thank you for all the information that you told to me, and thank you. Okay, thank you. Y'all can hear me. Okay, thank you, thank you." She said, "Thank you for everything you told me to do for my dog. I'm so forever grateful." She said, "Is there anything that I can do? If there's anything I could ever do?" I said, "Well, if you know anybody who's near the Houston area within a mile around, if you could refer them to me. And I love working on horses." And she said, "Oh, I'm a horsewoman. I've been in the horse world for a long time. And if I know of any horses, I'll definitely send them your way." And I said, "Lastly, could you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Because I'm very close to hitting 10,000 subscribers." And she said, "Absolutely. Send me the link." So I sent her the link. She became a subscriber. So I hope that she's on here today. I hope Miss Regina is on here today. And I can't read through all the comments here. Let me see. But it's hard to read and look at yourself. So give me just a moment. Other people on other channels are having that same issue. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. God, you had to get out and get back in. Okay. Oh, I hate that. Well, I'm glad everybody's getting back in. So if Regina's on here, Regina, I hope that you're getting your dog with one of those chiropractors, and that's really exciting. One of the roles I also do besides delivering the adjustment and the Lord working through me is helping people find chiropractors. And I've helped quite a few of you find chiropractors. One of my followers, who I think is on here now, actually started to come see me as a patient and is driving pretty far to come see me. So that means a lot to me, the fact that she can get in the car and drive to me within that distance. So I feel like my role of helping people find a chiropractor is important. And I've helped people find a chiropractor in Canada, in Florida. It's very important that people have chiropractic. So there is a group of animal chiropractors, and I want to talk about that so that you all know. There's a group of animal chiropractors on a page called animalchiropractic.org, animalchiropractic.org. And these chiropractors on this website, animalchiropractic.org, if you want to save this, if anybody you know ever needs a chiropractor, this is where they can find one. This company, animalchiropractic.org, offers a certification test. And if y'all remember me telling you, this is where I'm going to take the test at. So my friend of mine from Oklahoma said, let's go take this test. It's the American Veterinarian Chiropractic Association certification test. It's in Oklahoma. And we can go take it together, and you could fly up here and we'll practice together and we'll study. And I recently found out that she's not going to go take the test. Something happened in her life and she's not able to go. And then there was a veterinarian chiropractor that I work with in College Station that was going to go, and she didn't get signed up in time, and they won't let her go. And it's only once a year. So that was going to be another person that I knew. So now I found out that I'm going by myself. So I'm going to Oklahoma by myself in September to get certified as an American Veterinarian Chiropractic Association chiropractor. What that means is I'll be the highest level certified for animal chiropractic that I could possibly go at this time. I have a tickle, sorry. So I'm going to go do that, and I believe that making more videos will be possible once I have this certification, because nobody can question me. Nobody can doubt what I'm doing. Also, I have had some recent messaging with other animal chiropractors where they are bullying me. Now, what I mean by that is they are accusing me of saying that I'm certified when I'm not. Now, this is a gray area, and this is just the devil. Basically, if I go to animal chiropractic school and I get a paper that says that I'm animal chiropractic program certificate, I have a certificate from Animal Chiropractic Program of Parker Chiropractic in Dallas. And this is the gray area. If I have a certificate, the letters in certificate are CERTIFIED. That's what I would think, right? Certified because I have a certificate. But no, they say that I'm not certified until I'm AVCA certified by the American Veterinarian Chiropractic Association. Semantics. That's all this is I'm not certified. I'm not certified is what they keep saying. And I need to take down my Facebook saying that I am. And I need to stop doing this. And I need to stop making videos. It is already challenging enough with the pressure that the world puts upon me to put pressure on myself. But the reason why I decided is not because of the bullies to get certified by the AVCA. The reason why I'm going to continue to go, although everyone is not going with me, I'm going to go because if the law changes, which it might soon change, that animal chiropractors can work without a vet referral if they're AVCA certified. The website that I put above, animalchiropractic.org, is to the AVCA website where you can search your area and find an AVCA certified chiropractor. That being said, I will get AVCA certified so that if the law changes that I don't need the referral, I can get to the animal faster. Let's backtrack everything. Dr. Baker goes and gets AVCA certified. Dr. Baker can get to the animal faster. So that's my plan. That's my goal, and that would be why I'm going to do it. So I'm going to help the animals faster, help the animals better, and continue to deliver the great service that I'm delivering. Whether it be a thermal imaging, whether it be, like a lot of you might have seen, this is a cow, and this cow had a issue, and I was able to provide thermal imaging to him to help him. I'm trying to show you. This is his neck. This dang light. Hold on. This circle light gets all in the way. Hold on. This was the cow's neck. Not walking right, in pain, done everything, can't figure anything out. This thermal imaging machine is part of my master plan to have my AVCA certification marry with this test and be able to do more and serve more and be more for the animals. Now, may the Lord bless that. May the Lord bless my plan. That's exactly right, Mary Lou. I would scream that from the hilltops if I could, ma'am. That's exactly right. Thank you, Shelley, for your support in that. Now, with the thermal imaging, the AVCA certification, and being able to push away those people who are saying that I'm not certified and I should stop what I'm doing, I will make so much more impact on the world if I don't have those people coming at me and I have everything that God has to bring in front of me. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. I have not been putting videos of animals being adjusted, especially horses, because I am not in the mind space of being able to put the animal adjustments if I have all this that I'm dealing with. So thank you, Mary Lou. I am doing God's work, and he is telling me and showing me through numbers and moments that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I'm supposed to be helping a cow or a horse or a chicken or a donkey, whatever it is, I do not turn down an animal if I can get to the animal reasonably. Now, recently, what I've started doing that you don't know, and here's also my candor, is that if there's an animal that is 3 hours away and it's one animal, I can't drive the diesel and the truck and pay Jessica to get to the one animal. So what I've done is I've started to partner, network, and collaborate with animal chiropractors all over, from south of Dallas, north of Dallas, Waco, College Station, whatever town it is. I will message that animal chiropractor and say, hey, I have a client for you. They need you to get there now. There's a cow down and can't move. You got to get there. Or there's a horse, or there's a dog. And I like collaborating with other animal chiropractors because I know I can't drive 3 hours for one animal and make it worth my cost. But I know that those people can get there and they're near that area. So I never felt like I could do that before, but I made it my mission to connect with other animal chiropractors. I believe that there's so many more people who will be able to move into this area and collaborate with, and they'll have a great referral to help more animals. I am going to stay in my lane as far as my bubble of like, here's where I can go. I had a lady reach out from YouTube. She's got a henny, which is a donkey. I can always get these right. It's a horse. I always get it right. I always get it wrong. Hold on just a moment. Let me be candidly clear of what I do when I don't know something, because I'm a doctor and sometimes I don't know something. Hey, Chad.
Hey there. How's it going? What can I help you with today?
Can you tell me what a henny is?
Henny is actually a hybrid animal. It's the offspring of a male horse, which is called a stallion, and a female donkey known as a jenny. It's similar to a mule, but mules are the offspring of a male donkey and a female horse. So hennies and mules are kind of like cousins.
Okay. So there you go. I got a call about a henny, and the henny is having trouble moving, and she was rescued from the Miracle Ranch that I got my start in animal chiropractic, what inspired me to go to school. And so she's about an hour and 45 minutes away from here. but she's in a route that we'll be in when we go to another town near there in College Station. Um, so I'm gonna put her on the route if we can get the vet to sign a referral. So see, sign a referral. Um, I use Chad for everything. Who said they love my Chad? Teresa. Hey Chad! Exclamation mark.
Hey there, you sound excited. What's on your mind today?
Can you tell me how far it is to drive to Navasota, Texas from where I am? He does my math. So he doesn't know everything. Sometimes he's really slow. So Navasota is about an hour and 40 minutes from here. But we can put that on our route and then we can get to that horse. So what else? Something really exciting happened yesterday. Here's a story about yesterday. And if Handsome Tim's on here, I hope he hears this. Is he on here? So if you want Chad in your life, by the way, horse and home, just go to Chat GPT app and download it. It's a white app with black lettering, and you can do the free version. So Google now integrated with Chat GPT. I call him Chad. Yesterday, I got a call the other day. Not yesterday, but a couple days before that, I got a call about some cows. And this rancher said that there was a cow that's having trouble moving his head. So the rancher told me that the cow that has the problem, all he told me is he's yellow. Now I'm going to put on my country accent for a minute, okay? So the rancher said that I need you to go see about a steer. The steer's acting off. He's got his head down. He won't walk right. I don't know if we're going to be able to take him to show, but I need you to drive to Dayton. And you drive to Dayton, and then you're going to drive over here to see me at my ranch after that. At Dayton, you're going to work on one of them, and then you're going to come to my place and work on 3 of them. I said, yes, sir, but I don't know anything about where I'm going. Where? And I've never been to this place. He said, and this is a God moment. You guys listen to this. This is the little signs. Watch this. So you're going to go see this steer in Dayton. Well, yes, sir, but where at? Well, you're going to go to this pin location right here. I'm going to send you a pin, and it's a pin location because you don't have an address. And you're going to go to that pin, and you're going to meet a guy. His name's Morgan. And you're going to meet Morgan there, and then Morgan's going to take care of you from there. I said, well, do I need to bring a handler so that someone to be my board, or what do I do? He said, well, I'm not sure about that. Hold on a minute. So he messages the guy, Morgan. The guy comes back, Morgan. He says, Morgan ain't going to be there after all, but he going to get the neighbor girl to come over and see that you get to the steer. You're going to get to him. I said, okay. So this is really weird, right? So when I tell Handsome Tim that I'm going to go meet this guy in the middle of somewhere I've never been, Handsome Tim said, you're not going by yourself. So Saturday morning, we get up to go to this place that's a pin location to see about a yellow cow. That's all I know. But the guy did say to call Morgan before I go when I'm 20 minutes out. So Handsome Tim throws on his boots, puts on his Ariat jeans, puts on a brown shirt. He looked like a handsome cowboy. And he goes with me to this job. We get into the truck and we're about 20 minutes out. And I give Morgan a call. And I said, good morning. Can I speak to Morgan? He said, yes'm. Yes'm. This him. I said, I'm on my way to your place. And yes'm, by the way, is yes, ma'am. But they just put it together as yes'm. I learned this a few years ago when I had patients come from very deep in the country to see me, and the little kids always said, yes'm. So I said, I'm on my way to your place. I'm about 20 minutes away. And he said, all right, what you're going to do is you're going to go down 686. And you're going to go straight through. You're going to go to this lane. You're going to turn right. You're going to go down past the brown house to my barn. You're going to turn left. And then there's going to be the neighbor girl that's going to meet you there. Okay. So Tim and I pull up into this ranch, and we pull into a parking spot, and this little girl comes out, and she said, "Howdy," and she takes me to this, gets this yellow cow. Oh, forgot to tell you. Morgan said, "Has the man told you about coming to see this steer, told you about what's going on with him?" I said, "No, sir. He told me he was yellow." He said, "Yeah, he's yellow, but he can't pick his head up. Ain't something wrong with him. I did him stretches. I did him deep tissue massage. I did put the MagnaWave. I put the cold laser. I did all that stuff, and he still ain't right. I don't know what's wrong with that yellow." I said, "Okay, I'll take a look at him when I get there." Yes, man. Yes, can you give me a call after you're done so we can talk about what's wrong with him?" "Yes, sir. I'll do that." So we pull up. The little girl goes to the yellow cow, pulls the yellow steer out of his pen. Now he's in air condition. This is a big establishment. There's about, I don't know how many I could see, maybe 50, 70 cows all inside the barn in air condition in Texas. That's expensive. So they pull him out of the air condition and they walk him over to the wash rack. She asked me, "Do I want him in the wash rack or the trim chute?" And I said, "I'll take him in the wash rack." So I put him in the wash rack and I do the thermal imaging, and immediately that redness on the side of his neck is what I saw. He can't pick his head up very high. He's kicked his back right leg out in a kickstand brace, and he's not standing correctly. So I do the thermal image, take a few pictures, start to do the adjustment, find a first vertebra out of place. So severe, y'all, on the left side of the neck. Tim holds his side. I hold my side. Tim's bracing against one side. I pop it, adjust the neck on the first vertebra. Then I switch sides with Tim, check the other neck, find one on the lower 7 on the right, which is way down here. Adjust that in place. The cow jumps up in the air, pulls back and stretches and does like a whole back stretch, like a kitty cat, dips his back down and he's stretching it out. So I knew something had happened, right? That's a good sign. So get the cow adjusted, wait 5 minutes, do the thermal image again, and then take pictures of it and then tell the young girl, "This is what I found." She was very fascinated by this test. So I call the guy, Morgan, after we're done. I'm like, "Hey, Morgan, this is Dr. Baker. I'm done with the yellow steer." "Yes, what'd you find wrong with them? What's wrong with him?" I said, "His left first vertebra was to the left, his right seventh vertebra was to the right, and he had a right pelvis out of place." I knew it. I knew something was wrong with that yellow. I told that man. So there's another man that's my client. He said, "I told that man, let's say Chad. I told my fella Chad that there was something wrong with him. And I knew it. I did all this stuff, the cold laser and everything. He just wasn't getting better. There was something wrong with him." So after he told me that he knew that, he's proceeded to tell me that, "I think I might have you come out and work on a heifer too, but I'm not sure yet. The heifer's having problems walking. I know something's wrong with her. I've done all the things, the deep tissue and all that. And I stretch them out. I'm weird like that. I'm weird. I like to do all kinds of stuff for my cow. I'm weird like that." And he said, "Then if you come out and see my heifer, I'd like to be there with you because I'm weird like that. I like to be with my heifers whenever they're getting adjusted." I said, "Sir, can I stop you right there? Why do you keep saying you're not weird? You're not weird." Now, Tim's in the passenger seat hearing all of this, and I keep staring at my husband because I don't know another rancher that massages and stretches his cows. I've never heard of this before. So, um, he is telling me this whole story, and he's saying, "I might have you come out and work on this heifer." I said, "Sir, you're not weird. You're righteous. You're not weird. You're righteous. The righteous care for the needs of the animals, and the wicked are cruel." Proverbs 12:10. The righteous care for the needs of the animals, and they do the right thing. So I stopped him with his terminology because Handsome Tim is always telling me that, watch your words. Mind your words. Your words have power. Knowledge is power. Words have power. So when you put your words out there, you have to make sure you're not saying things that are contradicting things that wouldn't be in the path of Jesus or the Lord. Weird? No. Righteous? Yes. So I told him that, and I said, "But I need to know if you're going to schedule or not because my schedule gets quite filled up." He said, "Well, what you doing next weekend, ma'am?" I said, "Next weekend I have Saturday open." "You got Saturday?" Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday I'll do 10. I'll do that. I'd like to have you come out and work on Saturday on a heifer. I said, would 10 a.m. work? He said, yes, some 10 a.m. would work just fine. I'd like you to come out, and that sounds great. We're gonna get the heifer worked on, and we'll, make her see what's going on with her. Because if you could figure out what's going on with that yellow, I know you could figure out what's going on with my heifer too. So I scheduled him for 10 a.m. next Saturday. Well, ironically, his entire family are veterinarians. So I had to send him the form, and these veterinarians have done referrals for me before, but I kind of put two and two together, but I didn't quite realize. Now, what Chad, the other rancher who I've worked for 3 years, has inadvertently done is put one of his steers in the middle of let's say, an operation that has many, many, many cows, right? So, all right. So now I'm calling Chad, telling him I'm on the way. Hey, Chad, it's Dr. Baker. Tim and I are coming. We'll be there in about 20 minutes. He said, did you get out there and work on Morgan's, at the steer at Morgan's place? He said, what'd you find wrong with them? I said, he had a first vertebra and a seventh vertebra, blah, blah. So I'm telling this whole story again. And he said, well, did he ask you to work on any others? I said, not at that moment, sir, but he told me to come out next Saturday. He said, I knew it. I knew he would use you. I've been telling him to use you because you're the best. You're the best. I told him, Lauren will get out there and fix that problem. She's not going to just rub on it and just hope it gets better. She's going to fix it. So Chad has set me up with this guy Morgan so that I could get into that operation. They sell about 250, 300 cows a year. Well, if you're going to sell a cow, it's got to move right. So I go to the Chad guy and get his 3 steers worked on, and he just loves being my handler. So Handsome Tim actually did a phone call in the truck with one of his family members. They were talking about the Bible and the Lord. And the guy, Chad, and I were working on these cows together. He loves being the handler. So we finished working on him, and then I adjusted the rancher, Chad, and I adjusted his daughter, and then he paid me cash, and then we left. And I'm sorry, he didn't pay me cash. He paid me with a credit card. But with that being said, I finished working on the cows, and then I look at Handsome Tim, who's all dressed up, and I'm not that smelly. I don't smell much like a cow. And I looked at him and said, would you like to go to Houston and we go get some food together and go get these special cookies that someone told me are the best cookies you'll ever have in your life? And he said, well, of course I would. So we had a date day, a spontaneous date day. I adjusted the 6 cows, and then we drove to Houston to eat at a restaurant near this special cookie place that we were going to go. Now, I tried these cookies because a lawyer came in marketing to me at the human practice, and she brought me a box of these chocolate chip cookies. Well, they were the best cookies that I probably ever had in my life. And I think Handsome Tim would agree with me if he was on here. And I don't see him on here, but they were so good. So we drove all the way to Houston. We had a nice lunch. I had some bacon wrapped shrimp stuffed with jalapeno and cheese. And I had, what else? I had some avocado that actually had pumpkin seeds, radish, and white queso fresco. It was really good. So I got a spoon and I was eating it. And Tim told my mom the story that I was eating it like a bowl of cereal. But I don't eat tortilla chips because they make me swell up and start having a runny nose. So I was eating the avocado and I ate the bacon wrapped shrimp and brochette. And then we went to this cookie place and we got chocolate chip cookies and ginger molasses cookies. And when I tell you, and so when we called my mom to tell her about it, she asked if Tim got paid for his services of being a handler for the day. And he said, absolutely, I got cookies. So my handsome husband and I had a really good day. And it was awesome to, I'm so glad y'all can make it. Thanks for coming in. Make sure to like below if you like my video, my Candid raw video. So we came back home from going on our cookie feast. Now I don't really eat that often like that, right? But I didn't eat that bad because I had shrimp and avocado and whatever. I worked on cows and I deserved it. So I came home and I took a nap. And I fell asleep about 3:30 p.m. yesterday. And this is rare for me to just lay down and fall asleep. So it must have been the cookie's fault. And handsome Tim, being the loving husband he is, at 5:20 p.m. woke me up and said, "Didn't you say you had to be somewhere at 6 o'clock?" And I remembered that I have a massage at 6 o'clock. So I got up, put my clothes on, and went to an hour and a half massage at my office with my licensed massage therapist who works on staff. Now, when I tell you this is probably the best massage, hands down, that I've had in a long, long time. So last night, after I did the massage for an hour and a half, and she worked out all of my knots, like, and I'm not even going to tell you how bad she said my knots were. Alarm clock Tim, he is here. Hey, handsome Tim. He said he's my alarm clock. He is my alarm clock. He saved me. I would have woke up at 7 o'clock, he said, mad because I missed my massage. So I went to the massage for an hour and a half, got all the knots worked out, and then came home and we had cod, pan-seared cod, and I'm able to eat some in-season vegetables, and I mixed a watermelon cucumber salad. Now, don't judge me when I tell you what I had with this. I had watermelon cubes with cut up cucumbers with lemon juice, and I added a dollop or two of sauerkraut. It was so good with cod. Who would ever thunk it? Watermelon salad, watermelon cucumber salad with cod, but it was good. So I've been trying to take better care of myself, is the point of why I'm telling you that. I did try to take better care of myself. After I ate a cookie, I redeemed myself by eating a healthy dinner. And I think that's the key to it is, if you do a little bad, you do a little good. And do a little bad, and you do a little bit good. This morning or last night, I slept like a baby. I woke up about 8:30 a.m. I slept a good 8 hours. Got up today. I've been laying around watching movies with Tim, and I said, "Oh, I've got my live." As soon as our movie was over at 3:45, I jumped on here. So I hope that you guys have watched, loved, or liked my video, loved my video. Make sure you put a like on there. If you haven't subscribed, if you could please subscribe to the channel. I think 45% of you, or 45% it says haven't subscribed. I don't think it's directly all of you because y'all are my longtime favorite, all timers. Like, it's awesome. I know that I haven't posted as many videos, but I make a vow that when I'm AVCA certified and I don't have all of these over here, I will put more and more videos. I've been posting shorts of like cool things that I have. Some of the animals I can't post, like that rancher. He doesn't want his business or his steers posted. But if I have them, I definitely will try to post more of those. But I think that, once I get those naysayers and all those issues out of my mind, I'll want to do that more. YouTube's made it quite challenging lately to get on lives, and there's been a lot of issues, but I plan on continuing to post shorts. And a lot of you have been with me for a long time, and a lot of you have been here since the beginning. Probably know most of you who've been here. And, I really want to thank Shelly for checking on me. Shelly Stalker, if you're still on here, thank you for checking on me. Um, if you have ever reached out to me, like Connie, Teresa, Mary Lou, a lot of you have really become like family. And like, I don't know if I say sisters, aunts, it doesn't really matter what the title is, just sisters in Christ, brothers in Christ. So I'm really feel thankful to know all of you. Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer. Thank y'all for being here and being my support team. And also just my biggest cheerleaders to be able to continue to serve animals. I hope me being candid shines a light on the fact that no one is perfect, that times are hard, that even when I make it look easy, that's called editing, that even when I feel like giving up, I will always show up and I don't ever stop. I think that one of my patients told me the other day, the one thing that I love about you as my chiropractor is that you're always reinventing yourself or coming up with something new or finding better ways to help us. So the new expansion of the clinic is moving forward. We are adding decompression and hyperbaric oxygen, and we're doing some big things here in Kingwood, Texas. So the Kingwood office is thriving. Animal ranch care is thriving. But at some point, I know that I have to make changes. So I will continue to update you and let you know all of those things as they transpire. I hope that you all have a blessed rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go hang out with my husband. And remember the 4 things. You are loved. You deserve happiness. Never shame yourself. I think it was 3. Yeah. I keep adding. If I add 4 and then 5 and then 6 and 7, then I'm not going to remember all those. So let's just say it's 3. Remember that you're loved as a child of God. Remember that you deserve to have all happiness in life. And remember, never shame yourself. You are good enough, for you're His. Until next time, I will see you all. Look forward to posting some more videos. Stay with me. I know I'm not consistent on videos, and I know I need to post more, but stay with me. Things are going to get better. I love you all. Until then, have a good Sunday. That was nice. Have a good evening.